We're going to do something a little different tonight. Last week I talked about how Judaism can be countercultural, and so we're going to do something that might feel countercultural to you, but I want to feel our feelings. I want everybody for a second to close their eyes. And I want you to dig down deep, and I want you to feel all of those feelings that may have washed over you today, this week, since last you were in this space. You have lots of options for feelings. Some of those feelings might be anger and frustration. The world just doesn't seem to behave in ways that we can understand. Some might be experiencing sadness and grief. Others might be experiencing anxiety and fear for those who don't have the same opportunities as we might have. It's normal to feel confused. It's normal to feel guilty. Some of us in this room have things to celebrate this week. And boy, might that be poorly timed, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't feel those feelings of celebration either. The reality is we have so many feelings to feel. And if you've spent any time at all on social media or watching the news or reading the newspaper, if you still get one of those delivered to your house, you've been told what to feel. A lot. I'm not here to tell you what to feel. I'm here to help us all be allowed to feel what we feel. Because that's what Shabbat is supposed to do. Shabbat gives us the space for feelings in a world that demands action every minute of every day, all the time, constantly, always. And so we sit for a moment and we feel our feelings and we encounter what that tells us about ourselves based on what we're feeling at this moment. This week in our Torah portion, Shlach Lecha, you can open your eyes, by the way. It's very hard to read the screen if you didn't open your eyes. This week in Parshat Shlach Lecha, God tells Moses to go send scouts into the land in order that they might do a recon mission and tell us what to expect when we get there. And Moses, on behalf of God, has very specific questions. These are the questions we read about in our Torah portion. We're supposed to see what kind of country it is, and no, it is not lost on me that in my list of questions, the first one isn't a question. Are the people who dwell there strong or weak? Are the towns open or fortified? Is the soil rich or poor, wooded or bare? These are the questions Moses sends the scouts off with, and they return and they give this report. We came to the land you sent us to. It does indeed flow with milk and honey. Wasn't a question that was asked, but it's a nice fact. And this is its fruit. They were asked to bring back a little produce from the produce aisle. However, the people who inhabit the country are powerful. The cities are fortified and very large. We cannot attack that people, for they are stronger than we. Let's hold that last line for a second, because then we get a little bit of editorializing. But up till that point, see what kind of country it is. Did our scouts do that? Sure. They saw what kind of country it was. Are the people who dwell there strong or weak? We got an answer. Are the towns open or fortified? We got that too. Is the soil rich or poor? We get evidence based on the fruit we get. They answered the question. And based on the answers to the questions Moses posed, 10 of the scouts said, that's not somewhere I want to go. Except, they weren't the only scouts who had things to say, because we also hear that Caleb, in the next verse, reports, "Let us by all means go up, and we shall gain possession of it, for we shall surely overcome them." Does he answer any of our questions? No. His comment is not about the facts. Because, in all honesty, the facts help to undergird what we're going to do with them. Caleb doesn't say, nah, the people aren't that strong. That's preposterous. We saw them. We know they're strong. We know they're big. We know they're scary. Are the towns fortified? It would be ridiculous for someone to tell us, nah, they're no big deal. The gates are wide open. It's not true. The towns are fortified. The land is nice, but it's occupied. It's busy. And yet Caleb has the strength to say, let us by all means go do this thing. Caleb is rewarded. The other scouts, not so much. And on some level, we could say that it's not that fair that the other scouts were judged for giving an honest report. They were asked questions, they brought back the answers, and their opinion on the answers didn't please God all that much. But I might argue something else. I might argue that at the end of the day, we can go on all the fact-finding missions we want. And yet there's nothing we can do to change the facts and realities we see in front of us. All we can do is decide how we're going to look those facts in the eye and say, Hineni, I am here. I am ready to go to work. I'm ready to make the world a better place. And I don't care what kind of people are standing in the way. I'm here to do this work. There are a lot of people who are going to tell us all kinds of things we're supposed to do. And they started early, and they started often. And that's why I wanted to pause. Because tonight, we're not interested in more facts. We're not interested in more explanation. It's important for us to sit for a minute and realize that 3 weeks ago, I gave a sermon in which I asked us to think about gun violence. And then last week, I asked us to think about those who are all too often left on the outside looking in, who are told over and over again by different spaces, you don't belong here, and the hard work of saying, no, in fact, you do belong. Throw in an ecological disaster where we're told that we are supposed to recycle our way out of hundreds of years of mistreatment of the earth, an abortion decision that will have consequences that echo long beyond what we can understand. We are carrying so much. And there are so many people who are going to synagogue this week saying, I'm tired and I don't know what to do and I'm over it. And it is no easy task to get up here and tell you about hope and faith. Not that I need your pity, because it's hard for all of us. But what we can do, what we should do, is continue to look at the hope that we carry around within us. Because we're not here to do easy things, we're here to do worthwhile things. We're not here because the path to being human was laid easy before us. Being a human being is hard work. But we're given lots of great opportunities along the way. We're given other people to laugh with us and grieve with us as we make our way down the path of life. We're given thoughtful people who continue to do research to find us facts and find us information so that maybe we have opinions backed up by something that sounds kind of like research. We have all kinds of opportunities to help one another make our experience of life not easier, but more meaningful and more fulfilled. I'm not here to be the scout who tells you the land is great, all you have to do is walk right in. It's not my job, and I'd be lying to you. But maybe, just maybe, we can be Caleb for one another. We can say, the work is hard, and it's work worth doing. So let's sit together, let's talk, let's laugh, let's cry, let's support, and let's rest, because that's what Shabbat is for. And then on Sunday morning, let's get to work and build a promised land, not only in Israel, but in all of the world that is worthy of being called the land of God. Shabbat shalom, everyone.